The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's Thursday. It's Korner Booth pregame.
You ready? No debate, cause it's off. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the sauce. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant, slay the competition cause I'm walking like a giant. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, corner booth.
I see myself. Kate, I feel like I have not officially said this. I've tiptoed around it. Kate, will you marry me?
Do I have to answer now? Or
No, you have time. You can think about it. You can think about a way to say no without hurting my feelings if you want.
Oh
lovely. I'll send you a letter.
Just don't even.
Right, cool. Thank you. Shit. I'll send you my address later so you can send it to my house.
Yeah, I'm never giving you my address. I don't want you getting that close.
Oh, I know.
Gentlemen, welcome to the Korner Booth podcast. It's the Korner Booth pregame. I'm your host, Jared Clem, alongside a wacky cast of characters today. Matt is on his last day of his little sabbatical in the Caribbean. He will be back, obviously, on Monday. Tan as hell, sunburned, married. Oh, yeah, that last part's true, by the way. Congrats again to Matt and Bianca, obviously. For those who didn't check out our Tuesday show, our boy Matt got hitched last Friday. Looking fly as hell. We will post his new headshot will be him in his wedding sunglasses, obviously. But congrats to Matthew and Bianca Ordazza. We love them both dearly and hope you're enjoying your little getaway. We'll see you guys when you get back. I am, of course, the captain of this ship. Joining me is one of the best first mates I could ask for, and my co-host, the fantasy expert, and Suits Double, who is currently talking, so I'm going to bring in a guest instead. No, I'm just kidding, ladies and gentlemen. Mason Ruck. I screw up his name again, Mason. I'm sorry, buddy. It's forced.
Hey, no worries.
Dude, I went an entire year of you being on the show with fucking your middle, your last name, and you didn't say shit about it. That just shows how good of a sport you are.
No worries, man.
But buddy, Houston baseball, you ready? Postseason starts for you on Saturday.
Yeah, man. I mean, it doesn't feel like the previous probably 5. You know, I don't think there's as much optimism around this particular team, but we'll just have to see. I mean, I think we're a better team on paper than Minnesota in every way. So we'll see. It would be a lot of fun to play Texas in the ALCS. So that's kind of what I have my sights set on.
Oh, I want a Texas series so bad. I was talking about in this Handsome Devil show when I was on last night. By the way, shout out to the High-Low Sports crew for letting me fill in for my friend Kelsey. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, the Hunter Renfroe stunt double, the Wonderlick wizard, the man who I consider C-3PO's human body counterpart. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Stewart.
The only offense I take to that is C-3PO is kind of a weenie, so we're gonna change that one a little bit. I mean, C-3PO is a weenie and ran away from conflict.
But he also had like literally some of the best snappy comebacks I've ever heard in the Star Wars series. So
he had his moments for sure. Like it's like a mix of C-3PO.
I mean, I could also compare you to the Jedi guy who trains and runs around with Ahsoka, because you kind of have that vibe too. You're just a lot smarter than everyone. You just try to keep it on the low key, and then you hit him with a zinger. That's usually how you operate.
That's fair. That sounds about right.
Also, you have to do this with Kelsey every freaking days, man. So honestly, like it kind of comes naturally because I love my boy Kels, but he's an acquired taste just like I am.
Aren't we all in some way, shape, or form? I'm sure
That's
there's
why we work at Belly Up Sports.
The biggest piece of ish out there. So,
ladies and gentlemen, also joining us in his second straight week, my man is a happy Phillies fan. At least one of his teams is actually doing good. His poor Giants are basically dead on arrival. But you know what? I love the kid's optimism. He's a California kid. He's the host of the Case and Nate Show, editor and writer for Belly Up Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, our boy Nate.
So guys, how we doing? I'm very happy, very ecstatic with the Phillies last night. And bring on Atlanta, baby. Let's go.
All right, so we'll talk about this quick because, I mean, I don't know if our intern wants to jump in because he's got the headband on right now. Ladies and gentlemen, our intern Chris, who's unhinged today, as he's finally unmuted, was at game one. Gentlemen, we had the fastest wild card round. This is what the wild card round's been around for 3-4 years now. I don't think they've had all 4 series sweep.
I think all 4
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, there's supposed to be game 3s today for either team, and this is like the first time ever that there wasn't. So kind of surprising. There's no baseball on tonight.
Well, it's weird. Like, the only game we have to watch tonight is some mediocre NFL football, which we'll talk about in about a half hour after the Ruck report. Mason's got some trade targets for y'all, and honestly, I need to start paying attention because I'm 1-3 in one league, 0-3 in another, and then the other leagues I'm smoking everybody. So this is the problem with 4 fantasy leagues. I'm good in one, I'm okay in another. DJ knows exactly which league I'm smoking everybody in. That'd be your friend's league, Bubba.
We'll see. It's early. Everybody's been injured for everybody.
Buddy, I'm killing everyone.
We play this
And
week,
I didn't even get my favorite player.
I don't get mine either. We play this week, so we'll find out.
I think, wasn't your favorite player in the pup list until yesterday? I'm kidding. I know he's not your favorite player. I'm just joking.
Took me a minute. I was thinking about on my team. That's why I was like, wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Yeah, my favorite player was drafted ahead of me. I've been trying to trade for him for months, and your buddy won't let him go.
When you have arguably the highest scoring fantasy quarterback, you don't just give that away. Like, you knew this.
I mean, technically, the quarterback I have on my roster right now has scored more than him currently, but I see your point.
Bagons be bagons.
Do you have Allen, Jared?
I have Josh Allen.
But I think DJ might be right. I think Hurts is actually QB1 right now.
It's okay because DJ's boy doesn't watch this show, so we're good. So he won't actually hear your listen. And I'm one of those people. I will play fair, but if I know something you don't and I can F you over and beat you by it, I will do it. It's not that's all fair. That's just all information. And one time, a buddy, I think it was like a couple of years ago. I think I was in high school, and one of my teammates' little brothers was in our league. He had Deshaun Jackson. I had Kenny Britt. Kenny Britt just went off for 4 touchdowns the week before. What do? I trade him directly for Deshaun Jackson because I knew the Eagles' matchups the rest of the season were easy. This was the Michael Vick year. This is when they tore everyone up. And Kenny Britt, 3rd catch of that game, tears his ACL. My buddy didn't see that. He accepted the trade that Sunday morning and went and did something. Deshaun Jackson had 110 and a touchdown. Kenny Britt had 1 catch and a torn ACL. And this kid tried to jump me in the hallway the next morning. But listen, that's why you always have to check your shit. I lost the fantasy championship game because Todd Gurley got pulled on the last week of the season back in 2018. I steamrolled everybody in my family league, like all my cousins, uncles, and aunts. I was killing everyone.
I will say, like on like kind of like semi-competitive leagues where you've got like, let's say you're playing a 10-man league, 12-man league, and like 5 dudes really try or 6 guys really try. It always kind of sucks when you have like, 2 dudes that start out like 1-3 or 0-4 and their best player gets injured. And then they just give up, a quarter of the way through the year. And then, by the end of the year, you've got like, let's say you're playing a 4-man playoff. You've got 5 guys trying. That always sucks because then you don't even have people setting their lineup. So,
yeah,
to me, I'm taking like the total hardo try hard league every year over like a casual league or even like I guess just kind of a league where like, some people are trying or some people know what they're doing and others don't. I kind of hate that.
Well, it's funny enough, right? Because me, DJ, and Nate are all in the Belly Up like content league. And It's a league full of hardos. And it's hilarious because during the draft, half of us had shit to do. I'm packing for a goddamn vacation. I got to pack my Silverado up with about half a ton of gear. And we've got dudes complaining like, guys, we should slow down. We want to talk about the picks. I'm like, this is like, I love Chase because Chase is a very genuine human being. He's a great host, but he has the urgency when he talks of like, who's that? Who's the old host? Like he's very slow and deliberate and he's got a good delivery, but there's no urgency to his talking, right? It makes the show great on a Sunday morning because it's easy to wake up to. But when you're doing a draft, when you have a minute and a half between picks, it don't work like that. I think me and Matt finally got to talk about our pick about as our 2nd round pick was about to hit. And at that point, I texted the commissioner. I'm like, Josh, I got to dip, bro. I got to pack my truck up. I'm leaving in an hour and a half. But, like, I love those harder leagues because you get the guys who try so hard in fantasy leagues. Sometimes the ones who try the hardest are the ones who fuck up the most, and that's what makes it hilarious. So, like in my work league, at my day job over at Delgado, we have a work league right now, and I am 0-3. And it's because Joe Burrow won, Raheem Mostert last week, and I had a bunch, and also I've played two of the three best teams in the league so far, who all are averaging $170 for points, and I'm averaging maybe $120. I've lost by 6 or 7 every fucking game. It's killing me. But to that point, before we go talk some baseball and we get into the Ruck Report, I have a good feeling this week, man. I got 2 in against those Giants. Nate's boys are going to let about 1,000 points. And listen, Nate, at this point, you should be trying to see how quickly you can get a Caleb Williams or a Drake May jersey.
Oh, I already did. I'm already in. It's on pre-order.
Yeah, I love this.
Hell yeah, baby.
He's already sold. He's got it.
Mock drafts and all, to be honest, for me. No more of the, the Giants are averaging this. Nah, we're looking at mock drafts, college film, all that stuff over here. So, yeah, I'm
about to be joining you very shortly, my friend.
All right.
Crater for Caleb.
Oh, no, I'm not letting my boss win anything. You kidding me? He knows exactly when I play him that week, I'm coming for there. I'm coming for him. Are you kidding me? I'm going to pull out all the stops. I am way too competitive. I will happily get myself in trouble to win at fantasy football. I'm like, I am Ruxin level competitive when it comes to fantasy.
Ruxin!
Forever unclean. All right. Speaking of forever unclean, the Brewers, the Blue Jays, the Rays, and who's the other team who got swept?
Miami.
Miami Marlins. Yeah, it was so forgettable. I didn't even remember who played. Oh, my God. All right, so let's talk about – we'll go through each series really quick, and we'll go around the horn. We'll ask who's the most impressive team so far. Everyone knows who I'm going to say. It was Arizona because they should have – their bullpen actually showed up. I said this on High Low Sports last night. I was like, what is happening? Our bullpen is the best part of our team right now. Like, Zach Gallen looked shaky last night. And I was like, oh, our bullpen's got us? Our closer's lights out? What is this? Is this 2007 again? Like, I'm waiting for Jose Valverde to come trotting out of the tunnel. Diamondbacks look impressive, but, dude, holy shit. The Rangers offense. Dude, the Texas series, I really hope it comes down to the Battle of Texas because that series is going to be a laser show. And an artillery barrage and every other metaphor you can make for a slugfest. I'm here for it. So like I said, DJ to show my dream World Series is Texas versus Arizona because that'd be just the most out of control World Series. RBIs versus speed versus pitching versus bullpen. I'm here for it. But I think Texas and Arizona are my two most impressive teams because they both just came out and were like, you know how you guys are the higher favorite seeds? Yeah, fuck that. We're good.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll agree with you on that. I'll say the Rangers were my most impressive from the first one because I think they actually had the best opponent, arguably. I think the Rays were a true World Series contender. A lot of people thought they could come out of the AL. And they got beat like they stole something right out of the gate. They couldn't even get into the tournament, really. They got beat on the front step, and it wasn't even close. So I'm going to say the Rangers made the most impressive wild card run. Obviously, Diamondbacks did well. I thought the Phillies looked really good against the Marlins. Obviously, the Marlins maybe – not a lot of people thought they were going to go very far anyway. It felt like they'd have been cannon fodder either way, but I think what the Phillies did in that, I was really impressed with how they handled that one. And them and the Braves is going to be a fun matchup. I think they're going to be a
brutal series.
Like they're going to give them hell.
I cannot wait.
It's going to be hell for both teams. Whoever comes out of that one's going to be limping.
Honestly, here's the deal. I'm terrified because I could see Chris is ready to crank it out right now. He's ready to freaking go full scale Philly rage. The thing is, like, Chris, I gotta ask: Are you as lubricated as you were last week, or you take a chill pill this week?
No, I might get loud, but I'm not like alcohol loud.
Okay, last week, if you guys missed out, Chris had a good time, and Chris earned himself the legend. Like every intern has that show where they kind of earn their stripes. Chris earned his stripes last week, so he's officially a part of the Corner Booth member now. He also starts talking shit to Kelsey in the middle of the group chat, which was just funny as shit. So also
Congratulations,
do
you're
that
first
because
winner
he
of
bullies
alcohol.
he bullies Kevin too much.
sir.
Okay, we need somebody to bully Kelsey back because he bullies Kevin too much.
I'm so in.
There you go. All right, Nate, you're the other guest on the show. I know you're gonna say your Phillies. Anybody besides your Phillies before we talk about your Phillies?
Damn, that's tough. You know, I'm gonna go with Texas. I was so ready to talk about my Phillies, but to answer your question, I'm gonna go Texas. You know, Texas was really good offensively. You know, their pitching was great as well. They took care of business in Tampa, so there's really no question. I do hope the same thing in that Texas and Houston meet up in the championship series. Like, I really do want to see that, like the Battle of Texas. Are you kidding me? How I guess what better matchup than that? So I'm really excited for what the Rangers have in store, and hopefully they take care of business in the divisional round and go from there. But I love my Phillies. Like, I wish I could talk about them like a lot, but like Texas.
Oh, but you can now. Well. Like you said Texas. Now you get it out of the way. Now you can talk about your Phillies.
Fuck yeah! I love these my Phillies. Like, no, let me start off with this. People were like, "Oh, the Marlins own the Phillies in the regular season." I don't give a fuck. This is Red October in the Citizens Bank Park. Are you kidding me? Zach Wheeler, dominant. Aaron Nola, 7 innings last night, also dominant. Fuck the Marlins. 2 runs the whole series? Hell nah. And they thought, oh, if we throw 2 left-handed pitchers against the Phillies, we'll be okay. Hell no. Fuck Luzardo. Fuck Garrett. This offense is elite. I love my Phillies so much. It's Schwarber. It's Turner. It's Harper. It's Bone. Castellanos with his ring finger that looked like a middle finger at first on TV. Like, oh my goodness. I love my Phils. I really do hope they pull it off against Atlanta like they did last year. Obviously, Rhys Hoskins isn't there like last year, but regardless, this offense is amazing. I love our pitching. If we can get through game 1 some way, somehow, we got Wheeler game 2 and Nola game 3. We got a shot, baby. I want to see the World Series back at the bank, so I love my Phils, baby. Go Phils.
Goddamn
buddy,
right.
I love the energy you just came out with. Like, that was, it's.
Yeah, but that's what Philly fans are.
I'm
exactly.
Loving it. Well, great. Eagles, bro. Like, I have literally gotten in fights with Jets fans in the giant recycling bin known as MetLife Stadium. But like, no, I just love it because I told Nate. We and Nate had a conference call last night because we were just doing some belly up stuff, and I told him, like, dude, be yourself, be genuine. That's the way to do it. And he comes out swinging. I'm loving it, Mace. I know you're gonna come with a little more calmness right now. I don't know. You might start screaming about your fucking Astros. The trash can boys are back, but. Who out of the wild card teams has you impressed the most? Who really got you in this opening round?
Yeah, I just feel like with the way that the Rangers finished off the regular season, losing, let's see here. I'm looking at their record. 1, 2, 4 games in a row. Losing 4 games in a row to choke the division away. All you had to do was win 1 game, right? Like, literally, you win 1 game, you win the division. Even if the Astros sweep the Diamondbacks, right? You just got to win 1 game. So for me, like you said, Jared, the offense looked really sharp. And I will say, the pitching wasn't outstanding for Texas. It just kind of seemed like the Rays offense just kind of stalled. Couldn't get anything going, had no momentum. And I just want to touch on the fact that turnout for the first game was just like pathetic. Under 20,000 people at the game is just like a joke.
It's embarrassing. Dude. Like, honestly, if I lived in Tampa, I'm not even a Rays fan. I don't care. But I would go see a playoff game. Are you kidding me? Like, that's just like playoff baseball is electric.
I've been to that stadium, and it is just a shithole.
Okay, like, it is the shithole.
It's awful, man. And I went to that ballpark at least 10 years ago. Like, I was much smaller. And I just, at that point I would have been 13
it's what you
years
remember
old.
It was a complete shitbox.
Yeah, terrible stadium. So anyway, yeah. Rangers look the most impressive to me. I think it's always impressive when a team kind of finishes the regular season on a kind of low note, right? And then they can just flush it, forget about it, come into the postseason and, completely kind of change. So for me, really thought the Rangers looked sharp. In the NL, I mean, I don't know. Philadelphia looked good. Like you guys kind of said, like,
say it with your chest, Mace. Come on.
It's the Marlins, Like, I think if you're a Phillies fan, total reason to be optimistic. But, hey, I'm not, like, jumping the gun here. Miami's not really that great of a ball club. You're at home.
Who said they were cannon fodder? Because that was the best way to put it.
Right.
DJ, was that you who said they were cannon fodder?
That sounds about like something I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, I just like I'd never seen a team like when they got. I was actually really hoping your Astros kicked our ass, Mace, in the last game of the season, because I was like, please, the team I don't want to play in the first round of the wild card is these two goons as Phillies. Like, I want to play the Brewers, who were like won the worst division in baseball. Like, that's what I wanted to play to get
limping into the playoffs, and their second best pitcher is out.
Yeah, I was like, listen, we need a warm-up series before we go play those goons from Chavez Ravine. Let's get the team that owes us a little bit of payback for 2011.
NL, I guess I'll say the Phillies, and then in the AL, I'll go Rangers.
Texas boys, stay together. All right,
it'll be interesting to see how they match up with Baltimore, because both of those clubs really have little to no playoff experience, especially the Stars. So it'll be an interesting series. And I'm excited to see if anyone kind of, takes the opportunity and does anything with it. So it'll be interesting.
All right, we're a little ahead of schedule right now. Got about 2 minutes. So, gentlemen, we're going to go around the horn here quickly, rapid fire. We're going to pick every single series. No explanation, just one word. All right, we're going to start with the NL East series here. Phillies, Braves. Who you got, Mr. DJ?
Braves. I hate it, though.
All right, you two Philly goons, just say it right now. Just pick your team.
We got the Phillies, baby.
We're talking about the Fightins.
The Fightins, baby. The Philly. Let's go.
Dude, I need the Kool-Aid they've been drinking all day. Mace, who are you taking the NL East battle?
I'm taking Atlanta. I think Atlanta is by far the best team in the league. And Matt Olson and Ronnie have just been on another level, particularly Ronald. So, barring some kind of like Atlanta just completely melting down, I just see Atlanta honestly making it to the World Series pretty easily.
Fair. My heart says Philadelphia because it's the home of my favorite sports team, the Eagles. My head says Texas because, not Texas, sorry, the Braves, because, Ronald Acuna, the first 40-70 season in MLB history, you got 3 different pitchers who can go out win you a ball game, decent bullpen, great lineup. But my gut says those freaking scumbags from Broad Street. God bless the Phillies. God bless Philadelphia. And gentlemen, start your fucking engines. I think there's something about this Phillies team, man. October Bryce, Nick Castellanos has had an amazing year. Their lineup isn't as vulnerable as it was during the regular season. They're the hottest team right now. They're the hottest team in the NL. And as much as Atlanta rolls in, I'm kind of and I've been talking too much. We only got about 45 seconds, so I'm going to shut up now. We're going to go to the other NL series. My Snakes versus the Dodgers. Does anybody have my Diamondbacks? Anybody?
I trust the Diamondbacks.
I'll take them.
I love the two goons are taking the Diamondbacks.
I trust them.
Go Snakes, baby. Fuck
Just
LA.
because you picked Philly.
I'll take it. Go. Fuck LA. Right. All right, DJ and Maze, I know you guys are already going with your
You got it,
Kevin,
DJ.
Kevin, this is why you're banned from my show. Kevin, this is why you're banned from my show. You are Dodgers fans are scum.
They're scum, but they're still probably winning that series, unfortunately. They're trash, but I'm not putting money on the Snakes.
Are you kidding me? I'm throwing life savings on that shit. I'm about to live on a box on freaking Matt's back porch.
That's Matt and Bianca porch now.
Yeah, listen now. Bianca's a fan of mine. It's okay. All right. Rangers, Orioles. I'm sorry, Baltimore. Your Cinderella season ends at a very screeching halt. Texas, the only hope for Baltimore is that bullpen, but Texas.
Yeah, it's pretty spot on. I mean, Baltimore,
Texas.
ironically, they all look exactly the same on the team too. It's like a copy and paste of every single player. They are spitting twins identical. But I do think the Rangers they're probably gonna walk away with that one.
Yeah, I think Baltimore, they don't have Felix Bautista anymore, correct? Their closer. He's out for the year.
He's down.
He's down, yeah. Without him, that bullpen obviously loses a lot with Bautista. So, yeah, I'm gonna go Texas. It looks pretty easy. I'm gonna go with the Rangers.
There you go.
I'm gonna take Texas as well, just because you guys were saying how like Baltimore doesn't really have any playoff experience recently, or just ever. So, yeah, I think Texas is going to be the team to beat.
I think the last time they were in the playoffs, I think J.J. Hardy and Crush Davis were still a thing. So,
Yes.
all right, Mace.
Yeah, this is a weird series to me because, like I kind of hinted at, neither of these teams have much playoff experience, but I think the Rangers just have the better players. And so I'll probably take Texas. Like next year is Baltimore's year though. Like I think Baltimore's really,
Oh yeah, no, like I am putting hard money on a Baltimore.
Like we're
World
talking
Series.
like 110 win, 115 win ball club. If
Like,
everyone
literally,
can stay healthy.
I agree.
This is the last year of the old guard. I seriously
Yeah.
think next year it's going to be a lot of Baltimore's. You're going to have, I think Minnesota's just going to keep getting better and better. You're going to have more Miamis, Philadelphia. I mean, Atlanta. I think
the bigger markets are going to start
like the NL is going to be like Arizona might be the best team in the NL next year. That's not even fan bias. The fact is like they have like half the prospects are sitting and waiting in AAA. Like, can we?
Cincinnati, is another team.
Cincy's another one. They're going to win. They're going to run away with the Central.
Yeah.
Like they may have a selling spree up in Milwaukee after this because that was embarrassing what they just did. Seriously. All right, we'll go find. D, did you pick the series yet?
Yeah, we got this one.
Oh yeah. Listen. Unless we go counterclockwise, I start losing my fucking train of thought. Either way, last series, Mace, your boys, Texas. Does anybody have the Twins beating the Astros? Anybody here? Anybody?
I would love to
Bueller?
pick them, but no.
Bueller, Ferris Bueller. No. Listen, Mason, as much as we love to bust your team's balls about the trash cans, the Apple Watches, whatever, your boys know how to play baseball. They got some good dudes on that team, and they know how to play, and they know how to bring it every week.
I'm just hoping similar to the Rangers, man. Like I know they finished the season on a high note and they were able to sneak out with the division, but I mean, if you watched Astros baseball over the past 6 weeks of the regular season, I mean, I've said it on this show. They finished the regular season with a losing record at home. Mm-hmm. So that says a lot about the state of the team. They had the third best away record in the league. So I don't know what to think of them. It's a lot different than teams from the years past. And so hopefully just the veteran experience can, propel them to make a run. But I don't know. I don't really, I hate to say it, but I really do not have a lot of faith in this team this year.
I don't either. All right. I think they're at least going to get to the point where they're gonna like just.
If they catch Texas, man, in the ALCS, I'm going to be feeling great because we have that team's number.
So weak. The AL is so weak this year.
Yeah, it is. It's
you
just
guys
really
might fall
young.
ass backwards into a World Series.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Mason, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Ruck Report presented by SeatGeek. Promo code BELLYUP for $20 off your initial purchase. Mace, the floor is yours, my friend. What do you got?
Awesome. Yeah. So I've got 5 targets here going into week 5, starting tonight in just over half an hour with the Commanders and the Bears. Most of these guys are going to be buy low kind of candidates that you can maybe take advantage of a frustrated manager or, someone who's maybe kind of reaching right, like a team who's 1-3, 0-4, maybe 2-2 in a league where they've got to make a move, right, and kind of accumulate a little bit of value. And I think all these guys are very attainable, and managers are definitely going to be willing to move off them. And if you're the type of team that is 3-1 or 4-0 or even 2-2, right? But, you've got Jonathan Taylor coming back from injury, or Cooper Kupp, or let's see who else. Eckler, right? Like, you're 2-2 and Eckler's been hurt, right? Like, absolutely, consider trying to move for these guys. Okay. So first target I've got here is Jalen Waddle out of Miami. He's only played in 3 out of the 4 games this season. We all know that he missed with a concussion. I believe it was week 3. His totals for each of those 3 games have been, and this is half PPR. All these point totals that I read out here for these 5 players are all going to be based on half PPR scoring formats. So he has had finishes of 9.8, 10.4, and 6.6. Last year was Waddle's kind of breakout year from a fantasy perspective, right? He definitely took a hit when Tua had the whole concussion situation and he wasn't playing every week, but he absolutely kind of, rose up to the occasion, looked really, really good this year. And I'll get into this in a second, but if you have Jalen Waddle and you play in a competitive league, really good chance that you probably took him in the second round. Very high chance. So anyway, the game that he missed was against Denver. Obviously, that was a 70-20 blowout where 3 guys finished with over 25 fantasy points: Tyreek, A-Chain, and Mostert. And you can only assume that if Waddle would have been healthy for this game, he would have taken part in the fun, right? So if you're a Waddle manager, I would be willing to guess that at this point you took this guy in the second round, right? You're definitely willing to move off him because, as I said, 9.8, 10.4, 6.6, that's not what you're wanting from your WR2 or maybe even your WR1 if you went running back, first round, running back, third round. So managers are definitely going to be willing to move off him. They're playing the Giants, as Jared touched on previously. That's a, pretty solid matchup for Miami, who likes to throw the ball and have a, quick-paced offense. And so you need a wide receiver. You're 3-3, 4-0. Consider, checking in with a manager who is the owner of Waddle, because you can probably get him for pretty cheap. Definitely not whoever you took in the second round. Way below that. Okay, moving on. People are going to have their thoughts and opinions about this guy for sure. And really everyone on this team. This is Joe Mixon from the Bengals, right? As we all know, right, like really everyone. I mean, Jamar had the good game against LA. But other than that, everybody on this team has really been lacking because of Joe Burrow just not being healthy, the offense really not clicking so far, and just kind of being lackluster, right? Maybe coming off of a hangover where the last 2 seasons they've played in the AFC Championship game, right? And they haven't been able to finish things off because the O-line has just been so just disastrous. So look, over 4 games, Mixon's averaging 10.5 points. Like I said, this is half PPR. This is a dude, right, that you probably didn't take him in the first round, but you definitely took him, middle to maybe back in second round. So people who own him, they took him pretty high. He's absolutely got RB1 ceiling. And I'm here to tell you that, and I think everybody knows this, right, about the Bengals. There's too much talent on that offense. There's way too much going for them not to figure it out at some point this season, right? Maybe that's not next week. Maybe that's not the week after that. Maybe that's not in 3 weeks. But at some point, Burrow's going to continue to get healthier and things are going to start to move forward in a positive way. So, like I said at the beginning of the segment, if you're 4-0, if you're 3-1, right, and you're looking to maybe, similar to like a Josh Jacobs situation, right? Everyone was trying to tap in for him 2 weeks ago with the buy low situation because he'd done nothing. He'd done absolutely nothing prior to last week. So this is a similar situation. Cincinnati's going to step their game up on the offensive side of the ball at some point or another. And if you need, if you need an extra running back, right, who has RB1 ceiling, and you're willing to kind of gamble, right, because you've won a few games, absolutely consider checking with that manager, see what the price is. And on the Bengals offense, as we all know, man, it can't get any worse. It cannot get any worse than it's already been, right? Like, it just truly cannot. It can only go up. Okay. Moving forward, we've got Chris Olave of the New Orleans Saints. Posted a .9 bomb last week against the Buccaneers, I believe it was. Really, really bad, just offensive showing by the Saints across the board. Kamara played okay, not fantastic coming off suspension. But previously, through the first 3 games, Olave had, minimum 11 fantasy points in every single game. So very consistent for a guy who most people have as their WR2. If you're in a, smaller league, maybe a league that's not as competitive, maybe you've got him at flex. I highly doubt that, though. Going forward, they've got matchups versus the Patriots, who obviously Christian Gonzalez is out. That's who Christian Gonzalez would be on. Christian Gonzalez was obviously looking like he was going to be a lock for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's done for the year. I would assume J.C. Jackson's probably going to be, covering him on Sunday, but I really don't know. I don't know if they're going to get him on the field that quickly. Anyway, big opportunity against the Patriots away this week. Following that, the Texans, Jaguars, and Indianapolis, all very favorable matchups, even this week. So look, this guy is really invaluable in my opinion. He's got WR1 ceiling. Once Carr gets, healthy from this AC joint sprain, I don't see why this dude can't be a WR1, and you can't take advantage of the fact that managers are a little bit skeptical after the fact that he dropped less than a point, right? We'll just have to see. So, once again, a lot of upside with this guy. Ceiling is really, for me, sky high. I think he can be truly great if Carr is healthy. Moving on.
Just like Maddie's red stripe consumption today, apparently, right, Mace?
Yeah.
Dude's feeling it right now.
Shout out Red Stripe, Matt. I love that, man. Moving on. All right.
Maddie's living it up.
Yeah. We've got Amari Cooper here. Ooh. So people are a little bit skeptical, I think, kind of similarly to Cincinnati. We've seen performances from the Browns offense where they've looked really good, and then we've seen performances where they haven't looked very good. They're on a bye this week. As we know, last week, Deshaun was out with that shoulder. I don't even know what it was. I don't even know if they disclosed exactly what it was. Wasn't it just kind of like soreness?
Yeah.
I think that was right. Nothing's wrong with him. It was just you don't want to push your $250 million man, right? So they've got a bye this week. Upcoming matchups: San Francisco, Indianapolis, Seattle, Arizona. 5th easiest strength of schedule over the next 4 weeks for the passing game. Okay? So very favorable matchups. San Francisco could be a little bit interesting because, as we know, San Francisco can score as much as they want, as fast as they want, at whatever rate they want. They probably got the best offense in the game outside of Buffalo. Really sharp team. So this is honestly going to be favorable for a guy like Amari Cooper, who's the number 1 option on this football team. Because they're probably going to be behind, if not, all of this game, probably most of it, right? Nick Chubb's out for the year. This offense is now moving towards a pass-first kind of option. They're not going to trust Jerome Ford. It doesn't really seem like Kareem Hunt is going to make much of an impact. So we'll just have to see with the Browns. I'm not sold on them either, but I think this is a fantastic opportunity, like these other 3 guys previously, to capitalize on a crummy game for this dude in a situation where his starting quarterback was out and guys are maybe looking to upgrade or roll the dice and get someone new in that lineup, right? Because I think Amari is just kind of For me, I personally wouldn't trade for him, but he's very wishy-washy to me. So I don't know if I mentioned 2.1 point game last week. Not good. Obviously, DTR was starting. Can't take much away from that. But really easy schedule moving forward. I think it's a great option in the short term. I don't know about long term. Last candidate here. Me and Matt have talked about this guy ad nauseum since week 1, since the first game of the year. I don't know if – so the only reason that I was able to get him in one league 2 weeks ago was because the owner of him had Travis Kelce. So he was willing to move off of him because he didn't need him. So anyway, I traded Zay Flowers for him 2 weeks ago, and I don't feel bad about that whatsoever. I've got, the TE2 kind of candidate, right? Mm-hmm. So he's 4th in targets. This is Sam Laporta, by the way. If you don't listen to our show, this is Sam Laporta.
My dude.
4th in targets, 3rd in catches, 1st in yards, and 2nd in fantasy points as a rookie. Highly impressive what he's doing.
Teams, baby. Let's go.
In an offense who is, has some absolute stars, right? Amon-Ra is playing awesome. Jameer has yet to come around, but while Jameer hasn't really flourished yet in this offense and they haven't utilized him correctly, or at least the way that everyone kind of assumed that they would, David Montgomery has absolutely, played out of his mind. And it totally exceeded expectations in that offense. So look, not really a buy low. This is the only guy I wouldn't say is a buy low here. But if you don't have Travis Kelce, I think you should be checking in with whoever's got him and see what you can do. Because I think the ceiling, similar to Olave, as high as you want it to be. As high as you want it to be. And I think, in addition, with Jameson Williams coming back, this is just going to only open up the middle of the field for Laporta more. We haven't really seen that because Amon-Ra is kind of a deep threat, but not really like a slot guy. Like Amon-Ra is just kind of a do-it-all receiver. He can go up and get, pinpoint kind of balls, like, anything you need him for, he can make it happen. But Jameson is going to be that speedster on the outside who's trying to tear up offenses. So for Laporta, this is great. This is really great. 7.6 points last week. That's his lowest total, I believe, since week 1. And maybe he had more than that week 1. I can't remember.
It was his lowest because I think week 1 he had like one big catch.
I think he finished with like 5 in my league. Maybe a little bit lower, like 4 point something. But
still,
if the manager of this guy in your league does not have Travis Kelce, see what he's asking for, okay? Because it's hard to value tight ends in fantasy football. Even if you wanted to trade for Kelce, it's just hard to estimate and value how much you want in return for these guys. So for me, tight end 1 potential. I don't know if he'll reach that. That's Kelce's game, man. Like, it's just so good, and he's got the best QB in the league. So Jared Goff is not going to, give him that kind of – he's not going to give him those kind of targets. But anyway, I think Laporta can be amazing. Sky-high ceiling. Matt and I have been on this guy all freaking year. I picked him up off waivers in one league, week 1. That was awesome. And I traded for him after week 2 with Zay Flowers. And like I said, I don't feel bad about that trade whatsoever now. 2 weeks removed. I feel great. So this is what I've got. If you guys have some candidates in your own mind, shout them out and I can absolutely kind of, give you guys my 2 cents. But those are the 5 candidates I've got. And I think they're absolutely, depending on who you deal with, right? Some guys don't like trading, some guys do. But I think there's absolute opportunity for any manager to go out there and trade for any of those guys.
You'll love this because this is the ultimate trade bait. I am not a believer in Josh Jacobs for a number 1 running back this year. So I just dangled him in front of one of my coworkers, said, hey, listen, give me Jonathan Taylor and Jalen Hurts. I'll give you Josh Jacobs and a quarterback, okay? Come here. take Josh Jacobs, okay? Number 1 running back last year. Because in my opinion, like Josh McDaniels has proven he's not going to use Josh Jacobs to the best of their authority. They have understood they're going to tank. Jimmy Garoppolo is a terrible quarterback outside of the Shanahan system, and they know it. So now there's no reason to play. They're not going to win. They've already got mental health crisis stuff on their roster. They're not going to try to actually make a playoff game now. They're the worst team in their division. I actually think the Broncos might beat them. So now I am selling hard on Josh Jacobs, and I'm trying to get that trade fast.
And I saw today that it sounds like they're not going to clear Jimmy G for this game on Sunday night. So look, Jacobs popped off last week. He had over 20. So, I mean, he puts up another performance like that. I think that value only increases, right, Jared? Because then people are totally going to be on the hook, and they're going to be like, oh, man, he's back. Back to his old self, only took about 3 weeks, but we're here now. It's going to be fine, whatever. And then I think a trade like that becomes totally feasible in anyone's mind because they see the value in. The only issue with the Raiders, I think, is even if Jimmy G is back, they're going to be losing so many games, man.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just the run game is just not going to flourish. It doesn't matter who they've got in there, man. Jacobs or someone else. They're not going to be running the ball a ton because they're not going to be up in ball games. They're not going to be in tight games. They're going to be losing a lot of football games. So
and the passing you might get if you have a PPR league, but it's very, very questionable. That's why I also sent him George Pickens because I know he's not going to get the ball now because Kenny Pickett's injured. And that
Pickens, even if he's on the field,
wasted
he's
fucking
dead,
talent,
bro.
Wasted talent. All right, we got about 60 seconds. So Nate, DJ, if you guys got trade prospects for Nate, for Mace, time to roll.
Yeah, I just have a question. Oh, my fault. Go ahead, DJ. My fault.
Go ahead, Nathan. You go first. You're the guest. Go ahead.
No, I just had a quick question for you, Mason, too. I have Josh Jacobs, too, which sucks. Would you trade him for Joe Mixon? Because I know you mentioned Mixon as one of your candidates to
get something with
one.
I am a Josh Jacobs owner as well. I traded for Josh Jacobs in one league 2 weeks ago. I'm not really pleased with it, to be honest with you. I was pleased last week. I'm not pleased long term. But I think Jared's right. I think if you could get a bench wide receiver. Or even a flex type player, not like a WR1, not a WR2, maybe like a Brandon Ayuk, I think would be a pretty solid fair trade. You'd probably have to throw someone in there on the side of Josh Jacobs. But, I mean, how do you feel about that, Jared? Would you do, Mixon Ayuk for Jacobs and
Oh, I would roll with that one. I mean, to me, when you look at a trade like this, you want to see you're going to lose initial value in running back. It's about the long-term investment for the rest of the season, but you want to at least get back a piece. If they offer you I don't know, if you're in a 14-team league and they offer you they offer you a Tyler Boyd with them, take it because you're getting the value there. Two, if it's a 10, 12-team league and they offer you hey, listen, we'll give you Devontae Smith, but you got to throw in receiver X or tight end X. Okay, do it.
I've thought of one guy that I have been trying to trade for badly, man. Mm-hmm. Hollywood Brown. I want to trade for him very, very badly because prior to today's report is that the Panthers are inquiring with the Cardinals to try and move for him because I guess they want to add a WR1 guy. Because Thielen, as we know, Thielen's good, man, but if Thielen's your best receiver, you're in no man's land. So, Bryce Young is not this outstanding talent, but that tells me that they're probably, if they're shopping Hollywood, they're probably going full out tank. They're going full out tank. So, if you look at, I can pull it up here real quick, but Hollywood's numbers have been pretty consistent. I think he's another guy who's had over 10 points, in half PPR every single week, I want to say. Let me verify this real quickly.
All right. Well, he's looking at fellas. You guys, any other ones before we go? Because we got about 6 pack
every week, but week 1, 13 or higher, man, with Josh Dobbs. So that's a guy to me that it's like you can get him for freaking nothing because he's probably sitting on guys' benches. I know the kid in my league, in my OU league, that's kind of like my most competitive, like the one that I care about the most, that league. Mm-hmm. He's sitting on that dude's bench. Hasn't started him a single week. So that's another guy that I'd probably add to that list, and you can get him for chips.
All right, Deej, quick one, and Mace, answer yes or no.
We'll keep this quick. Another person to trade for is Zach Moss. I know JT's coming back. You can get him for low, but I think they're going to use both running backs. He could be Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb for 2020. You could buy him low. And then also, Mason, fun one. My lady got this trade offer. I want to hear what you think of it. She has Jamar Chase. They offered Jalen Waddle and Dameon Pierce.
Ooh. How's her running back depth?
Aaron Jones is one of the running backs. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, no, take the deal.
That's where I think
run with that trade before they take it back.
I think I'd take that, DJ, simply because of the upside. You know, Miami's offense is going to cook the whole year, and then the Texans are looking up. So I think I'd consider that and probably take that.
Actually, that was at least she has Saquon and DeAndre Swift. Never mind.
Oh, God.
Okay. Yeah, then absolutely take it.
Swift is your RB1 right now, which isn't the worst place to be because that's what I am in 2 of my leagues.
Like DJ said, we played in week 2 to Matt when Jared said no. Yeah. Always going to live that one for me.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for America's favorite game. Brought to you by the amazing folks at Canadians.com. Promo code BELLY20 for 20% off. It's time for the 6-pack. Fellas, we're kicking it off in the Red River rivalry. I know Mason's blood is boiling for this goddamn game. I don't know if my intern's alive yet. He's got Matt's picks as well. Oh, he's back. Fellas, we're going to the Texas State Fair. Texas is 6-point home favorites. Mace, in solidarity with your handsome ass and the fact that horns are always down, I am in unison and lockstep with you, buddy. Our upset picks for this week, because listen, if anybody knows Mason enough, Mason, I'm going to let you roll with this one because everyone knows you're going to take Oklahoma. You sold me on our Monday episode. And you know what, buddy? I'm riding or dying with you today. You've been sticking with us for a year now. Your 1-year anniversary is in a week. Buddy, in honor of that, I'm rolling with you here. My upset pick is OU over Texas. Horns down, motherfuckers. All right. DJ, what you got?
As the unheralded OU fan as well, too, that does not have the degree from OU. I'm picking OU as well. Even though I picked Texas to get to the playoff, I'm still sticking with Oklahoma. They have been surprisingly good this year. I did not think they'd be this good defensively. And Dylan Gabriel can still play.
Yeah. Nate?
You know, I love Texas because they have Arch Manning, by the way. Might be a future Giants quarterback one day. Who knows?
So you guys will go 0-17?
Exactly. If we
got Arch Manning.
We got to do what we got to do for the Giants. But look, Texas, they played well this year. They beat Alabama, which is obviously an accomplishment. But there's always going to be a game where Texas falters, and I think this is it. Dylan Gabriel has been good for Oklahoma. They have, 510 yards of total offense per game so far this year. So I'm going to go Oklahoma on this one.
All right, Mace, well, we're waiting for our Jamaican friend to make his pick from his honeymoon because the dummy forgot to pick this one. Mason, let the folks at home know, why are your fucking Sooners going to roll?
Yeah.
Tell them why. Let them know. Say it with your chest.
I've got 3 things that I will offer out.
It's not an upset, you dummy. Jesus Christ,
Number 1, OU is leading the conference in interceptions. 10 interceptions this season through 5 games. Number 2, I genuinely feel like in a lot of these tight games that UT's played, Wyoming, KU last week, really close until the fourth quarter, right? UT has not played their best ball up until the fourth quarter. They've been able to close out both of those games at home. However, I feel like neither of those 2 opponents kind of are similar talent-wise to OU, right? On top of the fact that this is obviously the biggest game you're going to play all season, to boot, right? Like it's a huge rivalry game at a neutral site where you are supposed to win for the first time. And I mean, I guess they were supposed to win last year, but that was never going to be close. I would say at least 5-6 years that Texas has been, the pretty heavily favored team. So I said this to Matt today. Tell me when the last time Texas had this kind of national buzz and they lived up to that kind of hype, right? Because this is the game.
09.
This is the game that you have to, prove your point, right? Like if you can take down OU, I think there's legitimate cause and reason to say that Texas might be the best team in the country. I really do.
Yeah, no.
If they don't, it's the same old story. We're going to find out on Saturday how legit they are. Obviously, I'm taking the Sooners. I think that the defense is, to me, I think it's top 3 nationally. I think it's phenomenal. It's the best that I have seen since I started at OU in 2018 for sure. That's not really saying much, but
Brent Venables defense, bro. It's
fantastic on the defensive side of the ball. I think Texas's secondary is really weak. And I think if we can force a turnover and hit some deep balls, I think we're going to end up pulling this game out. I think that OU is going to cover and OU is going to win. I think this is probably a 3-point, 4-point ball game. Really, really close. Comes down to whether or not someone can have a defensive turnover or if someone can execute on the big plays. So I'm taking Sooners.
There you go. I am a big Sooners guy here because, one, I watched as a Hurricanes fan, Brent Venables' defense used to dismantle my Hurricanes every time we played Clemson. That zone rush scheme is deadly. Look at Dabo Swinney post Venables leaving. That defense is about as intimidating as me, Chris, and Nate walking down a back alley. Okay? It's not that scary. So, that being said, listen, Mace, you're on point here. Oklahoma is getting ready to play in the SEC by getting a defensive-minded coach. Offense at Oklahoma has been a standard since the Barry Switzer days. It's always been there. And then you had, of course, their 2000 championship, but going back to the days of Jason White, Landry Jones, these guys have always been able to score points. Sammy Sleeves, right? So all that thrown together, Oklahoma can score points, but the fact that they have a defense now, you said they led the league in interception, led the conference in interception so far. Dude, Texas to me, besides that Alabama win, Alabama looks good, but they look shaky. And that was home cooking. That was home cooking.
I think at this point, if you're not discounting that Alabama win, I don't know what's wrong with you. You're probably a Texas fan or you just don't watch games. Plain and simple. Alabama's not the same team as it was in 2020, 3 years ago, before that. And so, look, I'm not saying that it was a good quality road win for UT, but the fact that they're receiving this kind of national buzz, this kind of hype, when it's it's taking you a big fourth quarter to beat Wyoming and their backup quarterback in the third week of the freaking season. What is that, right? And not to say, not to sit here and brag and say, oh yeah, OU has just had so many marquee wins this year, because they haven't, but they've done everything they needed to do. The offenses looked great. The defenses forced turnovers. They're flying around the field. So I'm very optimistic about Saturday's game. I think everything is there for the taking. And like I said on Monday's show, I just don't want them to win this game and then freaking get our hearts ripped out if we play them in December in the conference championship game and it costs us a playoff spot. So
yeah,
should be a fun game on Saturday. I will be there.
Mace, we want live photos and live reactions, okay? We need boots on the ground there, okay?
Yeah, dude. I got you.
Listen, Matty started off when he showed up to the Rogers Achilles Bowl. So, listen, we got to keep it going. All right. Chris, who do you and Matty have in this one? I know for some reason Red Stripe involved. Matt thought Texas was the underdog. So Mr. First Place is going to take a 1-point loss here, apparently.
Yeah,
This is
Maddie
on-
ended up taking Texas, and I'm riding with the OU boys. They're gonna be my upset.
Wow.
Cheers, man.
Wow.
We won't
Maddie's
steer you
lone
wrong, I
wolfing
promise.
on Texas. This is either how he gets first place or loses a step to your boy. I'm only 2 behind him, and I'm catching up, man. I'm smelling blood in the water. All right. Moving on. Speaking of blood in the water, we got the Tiger battle. Go Tigers. Which Tigers? Mizzou versus LSU. LSU 4-point favorites on the road. Do I sacrifice my heart to Jaden Daniels and those slime balls from the Bayou? My would have been alma mater if I hit send at the right time. I got to LSU. Listen, Brian Kelly, I think you're a dipshit, but I love Jaden Daniels. I love the boys on that roster. They fell victim to home cooking at and by the way, I refer to home cooking for those who are new to the show. Home cooking to me is in college football where you go to an opposing team's house, the fans are rocking, they're playing well at home, and they catch a couple lucky breaks, and you make a dumb turnover and you lose. That's home cooking. LSU fell victim to that last week. I don't think they lose back-to-backs here. I think Mizzou is the most fraudulent ranked team. I think Texas A&M is a much superior school. They should have been ranked this week. LSU rolls. I think they at least win by a touchdown, if not more.
I'll follow that up, Jared. Yeah, I think that LSU, man, by no means are they impressive this year. They're absolutely going to be a 3-loss team. Jaden Daniels does not know how to just hang in the pocket and throw it. The more he gets out and runs, the more they're going to pay for it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Missouri sucks, man. The fact that their marquee win is K-State. I was huge on K-State going in the year, but they lost a lot of pieces to the draft or graduating. And yeah, I mean, Missouri doesn't even belong on the same field as LSU, and LSU is not a great football team. So
this game might get ugly fast. Bet the over.
Yeah. I see LSU probably winning by 10+. I don't think this game is particularly close.
They also got their hearts ripped out in that last game. They want to come out for blood. Yeah, I think this is what everyone forgets. College football is the most emotional sport in America.
Yeah,
NFL it's a little more professionalized, but college football, the most dangerous time to play a team that has talent is to play them after they got upset out on the road. They want to kill everyone,
and they're not going to lose twice, like you said. It doesn't matter if this game's Bama. They're not dropping.
And also, Mizzou's not a hard place to play. I don't know if you've ever been to that stadium. It's not impressive. It's the best thing I can equate it to is it's like going to North Carolina State over in Raleigh. It's an okay looking stadium. It's got a decent capacity, but it's not loud. It's just average. So yeah, give me LSU by a fucking country mile. Deej.
First of all, Columbia's a fun place to go for not a football game.
Oh no, it's a great place to go party, but that's about it.
It's a great place to win a game, but I'm going to say LSU takes this one. I don't think Mizzou can stop Nabbers in that receiving core as well. Jaden Daniels will have a field day. Mizzou will score more points than they should because that's LSU, but I'm still going to say LSU wins it and covers.
There you go. All right, Nate.
Yeah, I agree with LSU. I don't like their defense. They can't really stop anyone. 429 yards of offense allowed so far this season, but it is Missouri. So unless they surprise a lot of people and put up some points on offense, maybe this is closer than a lot of people think it is. But I'm going to go LSU for sure.
All right. And intern, you and Mr. Matty, who y'all taking?
Fortunately, I mean, we are going to pick LSU. We got our hearts ripped out last week. It was driving back from Queens. I put my phone on my dashboard and I was watching the end of the game. Got my heart insanely ripped out by the Tigers, but we're still rolling with the boys. We're going to take LSU.
Why were you in that stank hole called Queens?
Oh, because I went to go see the Phillies and Mets last weekend.
Oh, Citi Field. Listen, okay, I've been to enough games at Citi Field. It's a beautiful ballpark, but it's the only ballpark in New York that I don't hate. So, yeah. That includes all sports. I think Madison Square Garden is the most overrated piece of garbage on the planet. The Ushers there are a bunch of dickheads. Anyway, moving on to Bama, A&M. A&M has been making a strong case to be ranked again. 2 very solid wins after Miami literally handed them their own ass. So, I'll start with the intern and Maddie here. Who you two goons taking?
We are both taking A&M.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going balls to the wall this week. This is do or die for me, even though it's pretty early.
He's swing. See, Chris is being smart here. He's sticking with Matt on almost every pick. He's like, listen, he's in first place. He knows something. I love the strategy here. He's trying to catch up to Mace right now. By the way, current standings, I think Matt's in first by 2. I'm in second, then Mason in third, and then Chris is right on Mason's ass in fourth. So it's a lot tighter than it was last year. Like, we actually have a competition here. So I love it. I love it a lot. Mr. DJ.
I'm still going to take Bama in this one by a small margin. I don't know if they cover, honestly. I really don't think they cover, but I think Alabama will find a way to squeak it out. I think now that they went back to Milroe quarterback, I think they'll find a way to edge out some of these type of games. They're still not beating Georgia national championship contending teams, but I think this is the kind of game they'll still find a way to squeak out.
The lack of physicality for Texas A&M is why they will lose. I watched Miami's offensive and defensive line bully Texas A&M. Everyone thinks that Van Dyke was the reason they won. It was not. Van Dyke looked awesome, my fellow Connecticut boy, but damn it, Maddie. Apparently, we're all house upset. Apparently now is OU over Texas because Maddie just realized that he picked the wrong team. So we all get 2 points. That's a new one for us. All right. Anyway,
are we calling it the house?
Well, I guess we'll call it a house upset here, but like a house upset in the 6-pack has never happened before. So we'll throw 3 points on this for everyone. If OU wins, Mason, all of us get 3 points because all of us are. We're house upsetting here, which is wild.
Sweet. I was gonna ask on this Bama A&M game, if you take Bama, is it an upset or no?
No, Bama's the favorite.
Sorry, if you take A&M.
Yeah, if you roll with A&M here, but like
even though A&M's at home?
Yeah, but do you want to commit to you only get the 3 points from your boys if you commit to them as your upset. If you don't
yeah. Just put everything on OU, man.
Oh yeah. Listen, totally. You can still take them, but it's only worth 1 point with Bama. You only can get double on one team. So I will finish with this. The problem with A&M is they have a good quarterback. This young kid, I can't remember his freaking name right now. He's very accurate. What's his name?
Wingman. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, he's out for the year.
Yeah. So
the QB right now is Max Johnson, who was he was at LSU and he transferred in.
Yeah.
Lefty.
He's not a bad quarterback either. Their first guy they had wasn't terrible. The problem was he just hadn't seen any live fire yet. Yeah. This kid Johnson's not bad either. The problem is that Alabama's pissed off. They're ready to kill somebody, and they hate Texas A&M. Jimbo has a giant target on his back, and this is their next loss. I think A&M's going to finish like a 8-9 win team, but they're going to take one on the shins here. Bama that defense looks amazing, and they make games slow, nasty, and ugly. Give me Bama here. Milroe, Saban. It don't fucking matter who takes a snap at quarterback. They could literally have the ghost of the career of AJ McCarron and still like freaking get a win here. It doesn't matter. They'll win this game. This isn't even fair because Bama. I think last week it was too close. I think this week they finally go back to Bama ball where they win by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I kind of think the opposite, man. Like, I think Bama sucks this year. I'll flat out say it. I think they're not an impressive football team. I think Saban's starting to lose his touch. And they, for years now, and I think it's obvious with the guys that they put in the NFL, man, Bryce Young was an exception. Bryce Young was highly talented and did not have much to work with. But they have not prioritized the quarterback position now for several years in a row, Bryce Young being a one-off talent. And now it's coming back to hurt them because they were able to recruit elite skill positions, running backs, wide receivers, and have an amazing O-line and lean on that part of their game, right? Having freaks at their skill position players and just kind of have average to above average quarterbacks and really, succeed in that kind of system. But those days are gone, man. And the elite wide receiving cores of, Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley and, over to Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle and all those guys, Amari Cooper even, all those guys, they're gone, man. And I don't know if they're ever coming back. So I think Bama's the better team, but if you've never been to a game in College Station, man, there's over 100,000 seats in that stadium. It gets so loud there. And I think that this is as good of an opportunity for A&M as it gets to knock them off when they are at their weakest point in, I don't know, I mean, maybe like pre-Saban, to be honest with you, right?
Wow.
This is the worst. I mean, really, though, it's this is the worst Bama team I can ever remember watching. And it's not even close. So I think if this was at Bama, I'd take Bama for sure. But since it's in College Station, I just see A&M pulling this one out.
All right, who wants next up then?
I mean, me and Maddie already went.
You and Maddie already went. So it's between our two guests here, Nate or DJ. Who wants next crack?
Oh, I already went. So I already said Mill Run. They'll
Yeah,
win
my
out.
bad. So Nate.
Yeah, I'll go A&M. Just simple as Bama isn't what we're used to seeing. I love Nick Saban, one of my favorite coaches of all time. I love him, but nah. Alabama isn't what we're used to seeing anymore, and it's tough to see. Them being in the SEC, and now Georgia's ahead of them, obviously, in terms of the best team in that conference. So I think A&M being at home, I think they upset them.
There you go.
I mean, look, man, I hate freaking A&M. I hate them. But that is and I'm not looking forward to having to travel there to play away games, man, because that place gets loud. And I'm sure I don't know when this game's being played. I think it's actually 2:30. So it's going to be a little bit different than the night game where A&M beat them 2 years ago in College Station. But I mean,
think if it was at night, I'd pick A&M. But I think the day game, I think this kind of gives Alabama a little bit of a heads up. They're ready to ball at noon.
All those Aggie fans, man, they don't have all day to drink. So
exactly. It's not they're not like the Philadelphia fans where we start drinking at 6 a.m., motherfucker. Shit.
Right.
Dude, we pull a shift.
Well, let's go across the pond to the guys who have to drink because their cuisine is so fucking bad. We're going to London, folks. All right. Bills and Jags. Dougie P taking on the Bills. Doug Peterson, by the way, I think he's 2-0 against Buffalo in his career as a coach. Either way, 2-1, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. The Bills are fucking winning here. They are a fucking wagon, boys. I don't give a shit. Jacksonville is a great team when they play in London. The problem is that this Bills team, just no Tre'Davious White. Who cares? They still have their 2 All-Pro safeties. They get Von Miller back this week. Greg Rousseau's been playing great. That edge rush, that D-line is just playing out of their minds. And you also have that dog, Matty Milano, and apparently now they know how to run the ball with James Cook, which just adds another dimension to that offense. Yeah. Give me the Bills. Just give me the damn Bills. So let's go. Come on.
I take the Bills to win, but the Jags cover. Somehow they find a way to keep it within 5.5 because every time the Bills have a huge win the last few years, their next games, even when they win, it's a little bit of a dud. They find it's like a Josh Allen 2 picks game, but he runs one in late to win the game. So Bills win, Jags cover. It's maybe a 3 to 4 point win, like 24-28.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, they heated up last week. I'm sorry, against Miami. They had 3 touchdowns with each other, Allen to Diggs, and they obviously kind of calmed Miami's offense down. So if they can do that, they can do the same with the Jags, who have been subpar so far this season. We thought Trevor Lawrence would make a big jump this year. We haven't really seen that as much, so I'm gonna go Buffalo in this one, despite the fact that it's in London.
You muted, Jared?
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. I wanted to check on a sound effect. That's on my man.
I agree with DJ's point here. Buffalo does tend to lay an egg after they, have games where they just blow opponents out and the offense is just full throttle, looking great. But I just think the Jags have been really underwhelming this year. They looked good in week 1, but they haven't really looked good since. Calvin Ridley's kind of taken a step back. Trevor Lawrence isn't developing, I think, the way that everyone expected him to. And they're still a young team, which is okay. So the Bills are the better team. Like you said, Jared, even without Tre'Davious White, the defense is better. The offense is for sure better. I think the Bills win big here, personally.
Nice. All right. Who and that would leave the intern and Chris, intern and Matt, I believe.
The intern and Chris. Both
Matt's
took.
the new intern. He's been demoted because he's been gone so long.
We both took the Bills. Yeah, Jags in London. You can call it their home stadium, but yeah, Buffalo's just been a better team lately. Josh Allen has picked up his shit. They just got Von Miller back, like you were saying. Yeah, we're both going to take the Bills.
Nice. All righty. Last game. I didn't want to put this in here because I don't think this game is. I have my opinions about this game. We'll start with DJ here. Rams Eagles, Mr. Stewart.
Eagles win. Rams cover yet again. The Eagles have yet to cover a spread this year, and the Rams have covered 4 spreads this year. Weird goofiness because Sean McVay kicks field goals that don't matter at the end of the 49ers game and cost me money, but I digress. Point is the Rams find a way
Bet
to
money line, not spread. You keep it safe.
It was a cheap parlay, and that's all I needed, and it made sense at the time. And Sean McVay can still trip on a Lego for all I care right now because I'm still mad at him. But somehow the Rams will
find. Makes sense. All right,
the
Nate.
Rams will cover, but the Eagles will win.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp's going to be on a snap count, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I probably am wrong, but regardless, I hate the Eagles, but I do love their fly Eagles fly thing. Like, I sometimes sing it to myself, even though I'm not supposed to. Like, as a Giants fan, no, it's catchy, like fly Eagles, flies, and whatever. And
Chris,
it's the
we're
Rams.
slowly converting him.
No, hell no. I will.
You said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them.
No, but I love the Eagles in this one. I get Cooper Kupp's coming back and Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell with Matthew Stafford. Kyron Williams has obviously been a stud for the Rams so far this season. Obviously the RB1. But the Rams defense is the Rams defense. The Eagles are going to, pull this out. So I do think they cover and they win this game as well.
There you go. Mr. Mason.
I'm going Eagles here. This is at the Rams, and I think the Rams are going to keep it close like DJ said. But, man, dude, that Eagles defense, bro, has been
by the way, this time Bradley Roby to beat a new nickel cornerback. Who, by the way, was
sharp, man. They've looked impressive.
PFF top 10 corner last year for the nickel position. So, I mean,
I think the Rams, look, man, they looked freaking lackluster against the Bengals. So, I mean.
And the Colts.
Yeah. So, I mean, go figure, right? Like, they're about to play a way better team in Philadelphia. Even though you got Kupp coming back, like Nathan said, he's going to be at a limited capacity. He's not going to be on the field for, 90% of snaps like he normally is or whatever. I'll take the Eagles here.
All right, my goon of an intern. Who are you and Maddie taking?
I have a question, bro. We're going Bird Gang all day, every day.
Of course, I know who you're taking. All right,
come on now.
This goes with me too.
The Eagles fly.
Listen,
come on, Nate the Great.
Anybody actually talked about this shit? Bye, DJ. They're gonna be hearing that shit a lot in our heads because we're in that shit box of a city called LA. Listen, this Eagles team. It's like watching a guy get an old muscle car out of the shop after a couple years in storage. They got to work the kinks out. They got to get some of the crap out of the engine, out of the brake lines, all that other shit. It's they're working out all the problems. The thing's gonna hum and run like it's perfect in about a couple weeks. What a team to play. Matthew Stafford's got a hip injury he's hurting from. By the way, I love Matthew Stafford. I love the fact he played through that drive and threw a game-winning touchdown. that gave me nostalgia to the game where he got his shoulder basically destroyed. But Cooper Kupp, Tutu Atwell, what is the one thing they all have in common? They all have the body composition of one of us. They are not big dudes. The Eagles corners are some mean motherfuckers. Darius Slay literally locked up J-Jets for an entire game last year. This year, J-Jets got loose a little bit. I would blame that more on the fact they lost their nickel corner literally at 5 minutes into the game. But Bradbury's back outside. You have Roby on the inside. You get both their safeties back healthy, and their entire defense is healthy this week. I think Nakobe Dean is back this week as well. If not, he's back next week. And Nicholas Morrow is the top-ranked linebacker for some reason. He's a practice squad guy. Philly rolls. I think Stafford and the boys have an issue. And Philadelphia is the original architect of how to beat Aaron Donald. You run straight at him. Shout out to Jay Ajayi and LeGarrette Blount back in that 17 season for showing everyone how to beat Aaron Donald. Anyway, Eagles roll and they cover to make DJ happy.
No,
you know what's crazy? I was gonna say no one. Though a lot of teams have been trying the tush push. Is that what it's called? The quarterback.
We call it the brotherly shove.
The brotherly shove. Yeah.
Tush push is what the Giants tried to do.
Yeah, and they're trying to.
I don't know. See, everyone's complaining about it. Like, oh, we should ban the play. We've seen teams try it. Like the Giants.
Not easy.
No, exactly. No, when the Giants did it, 2 players got hurt. Are you kidding me? No, no, seriously.
I forgot about that. Oh my god.
We lost our center and our tight end too on that play.
Oh my god.
And then the Raiders tried it against the Chargers, I think, on Sunday, and then they failed too.
And the Patriots failed as well. I think they went off sides. My favorite part was like the Washington Foreskins were off sides and they still got beat on it.
Yeah, like the play is stoppable, but Philly's offensive line is just so good.
It's about the fact that they have 2 future Hall of Famers on that offensive line already, and you have 4 Pro Bowlers.
Jason Kelsey, man.
They got some hogs up front, man. Shit, they got a top 5 all-time center. They got a top 20 all-time right tackle. And then you have Dickerson and Mailata, who are Pro Bowlers, and this new kid Juergens, who's a bully. There's not many weak links on that. Even the new backups, Jack Driscoll, Connecticut's own baby, and Suapeta, they're both mean motherfuckers too. I think Jeff Stoutland goes, I want a guy who's gonna smash a bottle over somebody's head, and Jason Kelsey. Like Jason Kelsey's his own unique human being, but like the Eagles' offensive line is just a different breed. Jeff Stoutland University is the way to teach offensive linemen.
Hey, let's check in with this game.
DJ Moore.
1 in a million, instance here. Justin Fields throws a passing touchdown. Oh my Lord.
Wait, what?
Everybody.
Back on that name.
Fuck Justin Fields, man. Fuck that guy.
Wait, why?
I hate it,
There has to be a reason.
I
just think he's a punk, man. Like,
all right,
I think
listen, 20-yard. It was a 20-yard drop off to DJ Moore. Let's not act like he threw a 50-yard.
DJ Moore right before it. DJ Moore had 80 yards on the first drive.
Great. They're gonna lose the game to the Commanders.
No one cares about that. We're talking about my fantasy teams.
Oh, do you have Fields, DJ?
No, I have more in both of them, so that's what we're excited about.
I hedged my bets. I took a parlay where Washington wins by like 9. And then I also took the Bears as an upset pick. So either way, I get my money back. So I'm walking into Saturday with $20 in my account. So I'm a cheap bastard. We all knew this. All right. Finally, last game. Speaking of, this is literally the game. I wish this ends in a tie. If I wish I could pick this. Name 2 NFL teams that I despise and hate more than the New York Giants.
Well,
yeah, right?
The Niners and the Cowboys.
Why, dude, like, this is why, like, StreamYard literally gives me a brain aneurysm. This is, like, irritating. It's the 49ers and the fucking Cowboys. This is working like those 2 teams' head coaches' brains do. I despise both these teams. I wasn't a Niners hater until they wouldn't shut the fuck up about their quarterback's stupid elbow. They were going to lose by 20 points regardless of who played quarterback for them. They could have brought Steve Young out of retirement. It would have fucking mattered.
They couldn't bitter about it.
They couldn't block Reddick or Sweat off the edge, and they were going to get killed for it. their offense couldn't move the ball. And Philly was able to move the ball at will with a full-fledged Niners defense. That was what the problem was. Anyway, but the Niners roll into Dallas. They're 4-point road favorites. I'm going to take San Francisco. The biggest problem is that the Arizona Cardinals told the NFL, hey, how do you beat Dallas? Unless your name is Bill Belichick, you run directly at Micah Parsons. You hand it off to your all-pro running back, and you say, hey, C11, you double team him and run behind it. It's football 101. And the fact, and Mesa, I'm sorry to rub salt in the wound, bro, but with Stevenson and fucking Ezekiel Elliott, you guys could not get more than 30 yards rushing. I don't know, man. The Niners should be able to execute here. I honestly think, God, I pray for Patriots fans because you guys don't deserve this. Give me the 49ers to cover and win. I think the Brock Purdy hype train is going to reach its apex by about Thanksgiving.
I'll follow that up, man. Yeah, San Fran's the better team. They're going to win. Period.
Yeah. Listen, Dallas's offense is not that good. They literally characterize off Mac Jones being ass. That's literally how they
Pollard, like, I think you see a direct correlation. When Pollard's really cooking, everything else is great. But, like, when Pollard's not playing well, everything else, like, takes a really big hit.
This is why I screamed from the rooftops, even though it killed me. The Cowboys should have kept Zeke on a lower contract because he's the perfect change of pace back for Pollard because he's a physical downhill runner. The only reason the Eagles have lost to the Cowboys in the last 4 seasons is because that asshole who wore 15 for the Patriots now. Now that he's gone, I think Pollard's numbers against Philadelphia are awful.
Well, I mean, they're also using Pollard the wrong way. I mean,
Pollard, exactly. He's not a
3-4 down back, dude. I mean, he's like
you give him first, you give him third. That's what you do.
I mean, but classic Dallas, right? You know, utilizing players in the wrong way and not paying them.
They overthink how to use the wheel. Chris, who do you and Matty Ice take here?
The game's in Dallas or San Fran?
It's in Jerry World. It's in Jerry World.
That shouldn't matter, Chris. That should not matter.
It's a home game for 49ers anyway.
I'm still rocking with the Niners. Me and Matty went with the Niners. I mean, I don't know. This game's like kind of giving me like kind of squeaming a little bit, dude, because like
I'm going to take an L in this game.
Hey, just remember, if you're feeling nervous, just remember that it's still Dak, man. It's still Dak.
That's true.
Any way you cut it.
It's still Mr. I got a demanded contract after a busted leg. Listen, business acumen is great, though.
We're both going to rock with San Fran.
All right.
I'm feeling comfortable.
Nate, you were raising your hand like a good student. What's going on, man?
Yeah,
this is a podcast, not a classroom.
I was going to say, I didn't mean to interrupt anyone, but the game is in Santa Clara. I don't know if that changes anything.
Oh, it is in Santa Clara.
Listen,
yeah,
I like the Niners
for me.
My friends are going to it, and I'm jealous.
Yeah, even more now. I don't know why the fuck I got texted that it was in fucking whatever. The friend of mine who texted me that it was in Dallas, I might beat his ass tomorrow at the bar. So that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter regardless. You know, I think a few days ago, Dak Prescott was asked about the Niners and how they beat him last year in the postseason, and he was like, "Oh, you just made me mad and whatever, and you're adding fuel to the fire." You know, like you guys mentioned, it's still Dak Prescott, and I personally, for me, I have nothing else to root for my Giants. So the next best thing is to see the Cowboys suck. And, SF is in the regular season, they've won 14 straight, and that's going to increase to 15 with this win over Dallas. I do think SF's defense is going to make life miserable for Prescott and this offense. And you can talk about Dallas's defense all you want, but, you have Ayuk, who's been phenomenal. You have Deebo Samuel can get things going again. I think last week he wasn't that great, but
they need him to be good, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he to me, I don't really like Deebo.
It was the McCaffrey show last week.
2
weeks the McCaffrey show.
McCaffrey's been phenomenal, and Purdy, he's doing the right things. 20 of 21 last week against Arizona. He should hope not, have that efficient of a game against this Dallas defense because they are better than Arizona's defense. But no, all that being said, I'm still going San Francisco, and they should handle them pretty easily. My friends are going to the game, and I'm jealous as hell. They didn't even invite me, which sucks. But
Damn.
I know.
Make it 6, DJ. Let's make it 6. Come on, man.
Let me hear this. You guys are all picking the 49ers, and you're picking them to cover the 4-point spread. You really think they're going to beat the Cowboys by more than 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
They beat them by 10 plus.
The
This is not
49ers
gonna be a close
actually
game.
own real estate in Jerry World. I think it's
You
called the
think they beat
actual
them
football
and
field.
cover the spread?
Yes.
San
I agree
Francisco
with you. I think they're
49ers.
going to ramrod them. I think it's going to be like 31-15. I think they're going to do the same thing. I think
Nice,
it's going to be
nice
show.
deception. I'll give you that one.
I do think the Dak saying like you made me mad thing. I don't think it's going to help. I don't think it's going to make a difference. They'll be up by like 28-7. The Cowboys will make a nice rally to make it like, oh no, the spread, and then the 49ers will hold on late. I think
Dak Prescott is not Aaron Rodgers. His anger doesn't scare me.
That's what I was gonna say, Jared. Is like Prescott's not. He's not like Brady. You know, like if you pissed off Brady, it was like, oh my god, like.
Dude,
all hell is about to break loose on me. But
I'm
it's
more
like,
afraid
no
of a
one's
pissed
scared
off
of you,
Justin
Dak.
Herbert.
Like,
He wasn't like scaring anyone with that comment, like on the
right,
conference.
exactly.
Like,
It's
about
like,
to
what
throw-
do I have to be worried about now? Like,
he's about to throw 300 yards because everyone's mocking him right now. He's going to somehow play the game of his life like he's back in Mississippi, and then follow it up with
statement
a
win for them.
47 game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna take the 49ers. I think they'll cover 2. I think they just have too many weapons, and the Cowboys' offense is still spotty.
All righty. And finally, upsets and gimmies before we roll out of here. I'm going to take my Hurricanes over Georgia Tech. Melvin Bratton is the honorary captain, the star running back of that 84 and the 84 team that won the first national title for Miami under the late, great, rest in peace, Howard Schnellenberger. And Georgia Tech has the worst run defense in the FBS division. And Henry Parrish is Isaiah Pachenko with a faster 40 time, and it's going to get ugly. Van Dyke may actually be out by halftime. Emory Williams might lose his red shirt because of this game. Yeah, Miami rolls. They're a 20-point favorite. Give me Miami to cover and to win as a gimme. Mr. Mason, I want to hear a gimme. We all basically get a gimme here because we all took Oklahoma to be the upset pick. So
I am taking the Oregon State Beavers over the Cal Golden Bears.
Nice. I actually like that a lot.
Should be fairly straightforward. Not worried about that game at all.
DJU playing his heart out. All right, intern, what you got for me?
I'm going to take Michigan over Minnesota as my gimme.
Excellent choice.
Great choice. Just don't listen to Kelsey.
I will not. And then Maddie took USC over Arizona.
Anybody else really hope Arizona pulls off an upset just to stick it to Maddie?
I'm hoping. I need to.
Matt still holds the record for the most upsets, gimmies lost. Nobody's lost more than one. Matt has 3.
Wow.
Jeez.
And he still won the fucking pick competition last year. Because I got ballsy and tried to pick with my gut instead of picking with my brain. All right, Nate and DJ, you guys don't have to pick a gimme pick, but if you guys were going to get your mail it in, easy money pick, if you got one this week in pro or college, it's up to you.
Miami over the Giants.
Okay.
Like
Self-hate Giants fan, the best type.
It's like for what? It's like, really? They're going to cover
Tank
or
for Drake.
beat?
Tank for Drake.
I'm telling you, the jersey's on pre-order for Caleb or Drake May or
it's not going to be
Shedeur
Caleb. Let's be honest. He's going to be wearing a fucking Bears jersey.
Well, whoever the next best quarterback is on
it's going to be Drake May or Michael Penix. You guys are going to get somebody good. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in this class.
Get
like
Pone for Penix.
Okay. I like Penix.
That's your new motto for the year. Pone for Penix.
Nate, go watch Washington when they play next. Okay. I don't know if they're playing this week or not, but go watch Michael Penix throw the football. It is a beautiful thing. He is a very talented thrower of the ball. DJ,
your receivers are probably better than the Giants receivers too. Just on that.
That's terrifying to think about. DJ, who you got?
I'm gonna go with a little bit of both. I'm gonna say the Jets over the Broncos.
Ooh,
mini upset because technically the Broncos are favored right now. So
I'm rolling hard on. Listen, my backup if we didn't do this Oklahoma thing was going to be house upset. Is Zachy and the boys over
Zach
those
keeps it
scumbags
rolling.
from Mile High?
I would love that if that means that G. Wills can just blow up in fantasy, man. Like a 2 TD, 150-yard game.
Of Sean Payton. I fucking hate him. He's a douchebag. And listen, nothing will make me happier than watching Zach Wilson light him up after this scumbag has the balls to call it Nate Hackett, then gets blown out by 70 by the softest favorite I've ever seen in Miami. Miami is a true, like, honestly, Miami is a very soft team, and they kick the piss out of the Denver Broncos. Also, fucking play Raheem Mostert more, you bum. All right, anyway, that's all I got. Chris, did you and Maddie take your gimmies yet?
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
I
that's
took
right.
Michigan.
Like,
He took USC.
Yeah, I know you took Michigan. He took USC. My brain like shut off for a second. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that would basically wrap it up for the Corner Booth pregame. Game has already started. Obviously, I believe the Bears are still up 7-0. Bears have the ball.
10-0 now.
10-0.
Jesus Christ, the Commanders suck. All right. Well, Mr. Stewart, where can we find your amazing content?
You can check us out every Wednesday, 8 p.m. on YouTube, Twitter, all of our social medias. We go live there. We have Tier Tuesdays every Tuesday, and then Fantasy Fridays and DJ's Best Bets on a Saturday or Sunday morning as well. Go check out our episode yesterday where Jared was able to join us and see some World Series predictions, including our fan vote who picked the Phillies and Nick Castellanos to be the MVP. So they're anticipating a world catastrophe for him because every time he hits a home run, something disastrous happens.
Yeah, so basically either the stock market's going to crash or a country might sink into the ocean. Got it.
Or there's going to be a lot of major people that just suddenly die at the same time.
Or invasion by aliens, something like that. Castellanos, that's just kind of how the attention he attracts. You can find me, Mace, Chris, and the Rasta Fun Man, Mr. Matt, at Corner Booth Pod. You can find Matt at Corner Booth Matt or a Big Wisp on Twitter. You can find myself at Belly Up Jared on Twitter because continuity's a bitch. Oh, I'm sorry, on X. Sorry, Elon. And Corner Booth Jared on everything else, including whatever that shit is, Threads. Awesome. Marky Z, that really deflated like the Giants' playoff hopes. Sorry, Nate, that was a layup. You can find this rascal of an intern. He runs our Twitter account along with Mace at Corner Booth MR. We will be back on Monday. We'll probably go live for our episode this week because Matt will be back. It'll be kind of fun to get him back on the show, all sunburned and shit. But yeah, boys, enjoy your weekends. Playoff baseball, college football, and pro football. And I think we even have hockey kicking off this week.
I think that's right.
That's dude. Fuck it.
This week or next? It might be next week. I don't know if they're doing preseason.
We're almost at the sports equinox, man. It's almost here, and it's the greatest. October is the greatest sports month of the year. Ladies and gentlemen,
and then NBA at the end of the month too.
Exactly. Yeah, sports equinox. Shout to our sponsors, Candidates, SeatGeek, Mauler Bros, and Belly Up Media. As always, we appreciate you all stopping by. Check out the Case and Nate show. Oh, Nate, I don't even think I gave you a shot here. Nate, when do you guys go live?
You're good. So the Case and Nate podcast goes live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Me and my co-host, we talk it up, even though I kind of hate him sometimes because he's a Raiders and then an Eagles and somehow a Colts fan too. He's so
does he hate himself or what's the deal? Because I feel like
he's
a lot of
no. I think he picked the Eagles as a second team because the Raiders are just so bad that they got to pick someone else.
There's no second teams. Man.
There's no second team.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell him that. I've been trying to tell him.
I had a co-host who's a Browns fan from Cleveland who rooted for the Giants as a second team. Nothing made me happier than watching his Giants lose because I was like, dude, you just stick to one team.
Yeah,
exactly.
My Eagles suck, I'm an Eagles fan. My Hurricanes suck, I'm a Hurricanes fan. I was a Timberwolves fan for the entire Kevin Garnett-less decade we had. So I don't want to hear about, I need a second team. You suck it up.
Let alone a third team, man. What is that?
Yeah, because he says exactly, because he knows the whole roster, I guess, from like 2011. He says that's why he's an Eagles fan with McCoy and Vic. And I'm like,
you mean the team that didn't make the playoffs, the most loaded roster of all time? Yeah, Don will bring it to 2011.
Exactly. Just pick a team. Just stick with the Raiders. Yeah. He knows the Raiders a lot more, but I still love him. So you can
I petitioned them for Mark Davis to sell the team. I know how it goes. It's a Raiders fan to struggle. But yeah, Case and Nate show. Check it out. They're a fun watch. I like listening to them at work because honestly, it's more interesting to listen to my boss talk about bullshit. No, actually, my boss. I have a good boss, honestly. It's more interesting than hearing my front desk guy bullshit about his life because he's about as boring as watching paint dry. I trained him. I should know this. Either way, and you can find that handsome devil intern right there. Look at him. He's ready to rock and roll.
Dude,
All right.
I'm hyped. I'm hyped for Red October, dude. It's all going through my head.
Yes, sir.
right now.
Go Phillies all the
Oh,
way.
my God.
Hell,
You know what?
we talking about the Fighters.
All right. You two goons, go relax. All right, they don't have to play till Saturday. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Court with Pregame. We hope you enjoyed yourselves watching our show today and stopping in for a couple of rounds of brews. If you like our stuff, go check us out on social. Everything Corner Booth Pod. We are there, and we hope you have a great weekend. It is 8:45. I'm fucking starving, and I have to go cook a steak. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.